What's going on, guys? I'm Tommy, and I'm coming at you with an action figure review. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Hasbro the Black Series Imperial Armored Commando from The Mandalorian Season 3. Now, The Mandalorian Season 3, me personally, loved it, and this design of enemy for the Mandalorians to fight was awesome. I love the idea of Imperial stormtroopers that have Beskar armor. Moff Gideon was doing a lot of experimentation on Mandalore, and this just fits right in with some of those experiments. I thought the design was awesome, and right from when I saw them on screen for the first time, I was itching for an action figure of them. This guy is a mainline release for the Black Series for 2024, meaning you're going to find him at most of your major retailers. I got this guy on a pre-order from Big Bad Toy Store, dropped it into my pile of loot, and shipped it about a month or two after I got it. I highly recommend checking out Big Bad Toy Store. Their pile of loot feature is awesome, and I pre-order pretty much all my action figures through them. Highly recommend checking them out. So taking a look at the packaging, up at the top you have the Black Series logo, a big plastic window showing you the character and all his accessories. On the side you have in vertical text the name of the character, as well as that he is number 42 for the Mandalorian subline. You have the orangish color here representing the show's name, as well as some logos down at the bottom. On the side you have your mural art showing you the character, as well as, again, the name at the bottom. On the back of the box we see that same mural art we saw on the side blown up a bit, as well as the Black Series logo, the character's name, and a bio in about 1,000 languages. This bio reads, "The latest generation of Imperial Super Commandos are highly trained warriors protected by Beskar alloy cast in the form of elite trooper armor." And again, this guy is number 42 for the Mandalorian line. Down at the bottom we have all of our legalese. Please don't feed this action figure to your babies. We have the Black Series logo here. On the bottom of the box we have some more legalese, and then on the top we have nothing. So that's it for the packaging. Let's get this guy opened and check him out. Alright, we've got this guy out of the box. Let's first check out the accessories that he comes with. The first one being a blaster pistol. This is a great little sidearm for this guy. It's got some very subtle paint hits up towards the barrel of the blaster here. You do see just some very light, almost like gunmetal coloration there, just to give it some extra, metal look. Other than that, it is just black sculpted plastic. Some great detail here, but no paint other than that. And then, of course, you have a longer blaster rifle here. This one looks cool. It's different from some of the other Imperial blasters we've seen. Again, just if you really look closely, you're going to see some of those subtle paint hits again in that almost gunmetal color. But aside from that, again, this is just another blaster sculpted in that black plastic, and it looks really good, and it gets the job done. We also have a removable jetpack, which they packed separately in the box here. This is done in a really nice glossy white color, and you also get some nice black and gray paint applications here. You'll see there are 3 pegs on the back here. I'm interested to see if these are compatible with some of our Mandalorian characters. But aside from that, some very nice sculpt work, and I really like the look of this jetpack here. All that out of the way, let's take a look at this trooper. I'm really excited to check this guy out. First thing I notice here is just, again, the very glossy. This is what makes this guy familiar to your Imperial stormtroopers, is the glossy white plastic here for the armor bits. I think that they've done a really good job for the design of this character, making him consistent enough to other Imperial designs while also making him unique. Something I wasn't really sure about was in the promo photos for this figure, it looks like he had a really long neck, like a cartoonishly long neck, and I'm not really seeing that now that I have the figure in hand, and that's a really good thing here. He's got some really nice paint hits up on the helmet here. You'll see all kinds of different details on the visor, as well as little grills down on the bottoms here on the cheeks, and he's got some other details even all the way over to the back. You got some extra white paint here too. Very nice detail all around, and lots of reds and grays all throughout. If you look at I love that they painted the gauntlets. I love that they didn't just leave those white. Very nice. They added even just minor details there, and the little pieces on the chest armor just look great. So many individual paint hits for those. They've done a great job of painting everything up and adding that little bit of extra detail. It goes a long way. I like the way that this midsection piece is sculpted too. It looks really, really neat. And again, it's Imperial when you look at it, but it's very unique compared to some other Imperials we've seen. Got your sculpted holster for our sidearm here on the leg with a sculpted strap so that you can kind of button that blaster in. Looks very nice. And it's also very malleable. This is a very thin and malleable plastic, which is very nice as well, considering it's free floating to the leg here. But aside from that, that's pretty much all we're getting with this figure. I mean, again, the sculpt work on this is phenomenal, and I'm very excited to get him posed up with some of his accessories. But in order to do that, let's first check out his articulation. So this guy's going to have a double ball jointed neck with plenty of range here. He's got plenty of down, and he's also got plenty of up. He can tilt that head for some attitude as well as look right and left. He does have some butterfly joints that are hidden underneath this upper armor piece, which is an overlay, and so you're going to get some nice decent range out of those butterfly joints. And there is of course a hinge and swivel too, so you can get the shoulders up to about 90 degrees, and they can swivel a full 360 degrees. The edges of this overlay here are rubbery and will move out of the way with ease. You do have a deep cut single jointed elbow here, which will bend past that 90 degree mark. There is a swivel at the top of the elbow, as well as a swivel at the base of the gauntlet, which is awesome. The wrists also do swivel here, and he does have a vertical hinge in that right hand, and in the left hand he has a second vertical hinge, which is great. This guy also appears to have two trigger finger hands, which is also very nice. He's got a ball joint about midway through the torso here, which also has some fantastic range of motion. And then of course he's got some ball joints down here at the hips. Those are going to give you some nice range too. They did not include a cut for a thigh swivel, however, these are the updated hip joints for the Black Series, so they do kind of have the ability to twist in and out. He has some deep cut single jointed knees, which are going to get you to about that 90 degree mark, and there is a swivel at the top of the knee joint there. And then of course he has a forward facing pin for rocker at the ankles here, as well as a hinge, which gets you not really any forward, but it gets you plenty of back. So overall, we've got some very standard articulation for the Black Series in 2024, and it's a very good articulation system. I'm really happy with how streamlined the Black Series has gotten with its articulation schemes. So first, taking a look at the side arm, this is the one that does come with the weapon storage. So all you do is just lift the strap up, you're going to slip your blaster into the holster, and you're going to see it's going to kind of poke out of the bottom there. And the strap can very easily fit back into place with the blaster in the holster, and it passes the shake test. You're not going to have any issues with it falling out. Let's, while we're at it, also include this jetpack here. So let's just push that in, and these top two pegs are more of a guide to keep the jetpack from kind of twisting when it's on his back. It's a very secure connection there, and again, passes the shake test with great ease. Jetpack is nice too because it doesn't make him too back heavy. He can still stand up straight just fine with the jetpack on. Let's see how the blaster pistol looks in the hand here. So it seems to fit in the hand very, very smoothly. The trigger finger does fit into the trigger guard as well. I'm already really liking this figure. There's just some figures that when you're posing them up, you can just really tell that you really like them, and this is one of those for me for sure. And here's a nice little blaster holding pose for this guy if he's ready to go into battle with it. All right, so this also is going to fit into that right hand very nicely. Trigger finger fits into the trigger guard there too. A lot of the shots we see in the show are just kind of these guys standing around with these blasters here. So there's that one kind of famous shot, I guess, where they're kind of just standing there idly. This looks like a great pose, and honestly, it's great shelf presence for these guys. Just because of the way the arms articulate, you can't really get this guy to shoulder this blaster, but that's also just partially because the stock of the blaster is so short. However, you can bring it right up to his face, and he can kind of look down. You can get an illusion looking at it from certain angles that it's close enough when he's holding it there. And you can still get some decent poses with him with the blaster in hand. Still looks very, very cool. This guy was incredibly easy to pose in a one-legged pose here. I've got him kind of running into battle, maybe running to a battle station, or leading our unsuspecting Mandalorians into a trap. This guy looks really, really good, and I'm honestly really, really satisfied with the articulation on this guy. Just for some quick comparisons, here is the Imp Commando next to the Mines of Mandalore Mandalorian and also the Bo-Katan figure. I think they scale really well, and I think these guys are going to look great on the shelf together. And I guess just to kind of see what they're going to do with some potential future reuse, I'm interested to see if this jetpack will fit on the current Mandalorian, and what do you know? Yes, it does. So I would definitely expect to see another Mandalorian figure with some different blaster pistols and maybe this jetpack after he's done running the gauntlet in Moff Gideon's secret base on Mandalore. Overall, I'd say this figure is a certified banger. You should absolutely get this one for your collection. I think it's worth getting if you're an Imperial collector or if you're a Mandalorian collector. I think this one is definitely worth your while, and it's just an awesome looking action figure. So all around, this one is a recommended figure from me. And with that being said, it's going to wrap it up for this review. If you enjoyed and you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to Blitz Transmissions. I've got awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. Make sure to check out my social media, all of which is linked in the description below. That'll be all for this review, guys. I'll catch you for the next one, and may the Force be with you.